yo, Patrick, check it out. You got the perfect look, perfect everything for this role, and I want you to play this gay guy that has 2 gay boyfriends, and I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is your limits of your artistry? Because some people, you know, they like, oh, it's art, so I don't care.
So you gonna get me in trouble for this one, man. This rapist face. I don't know what it is.
What the hell is the rapist face?
I don't know. Maybe it's a light-skinned person with a beard. I don't know. You can touch me here, you can touch me there. Can I touch you here, there? Kind of get those things kind of out the way first. So then that way, once you get it all set in stone, you can kind of just go crazy. You know, I mean, you can perform. If there is a conversation to be had where things are just getting too disrespectful, for the life of me, keep it off social media. For the life of me.
What up? I'm YoungBlaze. I'm a rapper, producer, and director, photographer, just all the way around creator. So what about you? You an actor, filmmaker, musician, someone who's creating or part of something amazing? Well, come meet people like you, where we take Chicago, Hollywood, and we meet up in the middle, and we get successful. So if somebody tell you switched up, acting different, acting brand new, nah. Just tell them I'm just acting Chicallywood.
Yo, what up, people? It's your boy YoungBlaze, and you're tuned in to Today on Chicallywood, and I'm with
Patrick Deal.
There we go. What's good, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. So, who are you?
So, Patrick Deal. I'm an actor. I'm a writer. I'm recently a producer and director. So.
How long you been doing your thing?
I've been acting for 20 plus years, I want to say.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what have you learned so far in this business? Chicago as it is, being this interesting bubble that we live in of just dope talent. What have you learned so far in doing your time of acting?
So, I want to say the first thing I learned is that you kind of have to be built for this. Okay. In a sense where it's like, you know, the glitz and the glam sometimes can get a little bit distraction, but for the most part, you're pretty much your own calling card, your own business in a sense. And so, you know, with this acting industry, you kind of really have to do a good job at selling yourself. Yeah. And one of the best pieces of suggestions I would say that my agent told me was that this is a rejection business. You're gonna hear no all the time. If you can't keep on going, staying resilient, and just accepting those no's and realizing that sometimes just things ain't for you, it's the wrong business, you know?
So what made you stay strong and say, you know what? I got a lot of no's, but I'm gonna stick this through. Why?
I mean, I really just love it, to be honest with you. I mean, I've been doing this stuff, you know, since I was a kid.
Okay.
And, you know, what the biggest excitement for me in doing it was just the fact that I like creating. I like being in other people's shoes, pretending to be something, and just becoming a whole different character. And before I started getting, like, you know, money for it, I was doing it for free for the longest. But I was always having fun doing it. So with that, I think that's what kind of just kept me going and stuff. And then I was never really the type of person to kind of walk away from something. Yeah. You know, if I said I'm gonna do something and it's not really panning my way, let me just follow through and finish it out and see what happens.
Right.
And I think for the most part, things have panned out well, whether good or bad. I've always took something from those experiences, and it always elevated me in some kind of way as an actor.
Okay.
And it broadened my network. It gave me a lot of good relationships, and I was always able to keep working. And eventually, you know, I started getting rewarded for it.
Yeah.
Sometimes handsomely, sometimes, you know, decently. But for the most part, it was just the fact that I was honing my craft all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of made me good at what I love to do.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, just dedication.
What was something that you saw? What was a movie that inspired you to say, this is what I want to do?
The Wizard of Oz.
Really?
The white one, though.
The white one? Okay.
Yeah, the Judy Garland, man. I would get dropped off at my grandma's house, like after school.
Yeah.
And, you know, she had like all the work. So she had the cable and stuff, but I was always interested in the movie. She had like a very peculiar taste in movies.
Yeah.
You know, like she had all the Jacksons, all the Tina Turners and stuff, but she had these very eclectic selection of movies that I've never heard of, never seen before. and she would put on The Wizard of Oz, and I just fell in love with just the storyline. Like the I'm thinking it's a black and white movie, but I was just drawn in just how it started out, like the hurricane, the tornado, and things like that. And Judy looking as gorgeous as she did. I was a kid. I was like, oh, she has there. You know, and I'm 8 years old, thinking, dang. But you know, over time, like seeing it kind of transition from that to the Technicolor, things like that, it felt like magic to me. And then kind of seeing the little guys. The Munchkins. I think they're called the Munchkins, though. The Munchkins, the witch, things like that. Everybody just like in these colorful costumes. Yeah. The set, it was beautiful. And I just kind of fell in love with it right then. And then after watching it for the 100th time, that's when I was like, I think I want to do something like this.
Not the 100th time.
I've seen Wizard of Oz so many times. And people don't like it when I say like they bring up the Wiz a lot. And I'm biased because I say like the Wiz is cool, but they ain't got nothing on the Wizard of Oz.
Michael Jackson, Diana Ross.
Man, I'm sorry, ain't got nothing on. You know that Rainbow song, man. It's a classic. Bro.
I got you.
Sorry, but
so when you started, what were some of the pitfalls that you encountered when you started with your career?
Pitfalls. I guess I'm gonna say just.
I'll give you an example. Like I talked to somebody and it was like the thing they kept coming across was that sometimes they would feel that they would pay money to go to certain workshops and it just wouldn't balance out. Yeah. Where it would be people that felt like, okay, I did these auditions and it was like somebody told me that they had to pay to go do an audition, which was, so.
Okay, yeah. So
is that a thing?
Yeah. So I got to go back then because I almost suppressed these memories. So when I was 14, I was still in high school, 14, 15. Yeah. My mom got a call from this guy, some Russian dude. Don't know who he is.
A Russian dude.
And I think, I'm trying to think, I can't remember how he got in contact with us, but apparently he had this modeling agency. And, she always knew that I wanted to be an actor. Yeah. And so this guy says, hey, I run a modeling agency. We're looking for some young talent, some young guys and girls to come in and kind of audition with us. We got a program to where, it's kind of like American Idol type stuff where you audition, you go through rounds, and then at the very end, you get signed to an agency. Mm-hmm. Now, at 14, 15, you're thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna be a star and stuff. And my mom, she was going to the industry too. So we both are just thinking, oh my God. Mm-hmm. And so we go into the agency and, we're modeling, they're teaching us how to walk and stuff, and we're kind of auditioning. But for the most part, I don't know what I'm doing. It was all the way in Schaumburg somewhere. And at the end of it all, the guy said, Patrick was perfect. He was stellar. Oh my God, he's one of the best talents I've ever seen. Yeah. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna send you a contract to get him signed to this agency right away. I just need you to make a deposit of $1,500. And my mom kind of went crazy. And I'm thinking, Mom, what are you talking about? This is my dream. Just pay the money. She's like, boy, I ain't got the money.
That sounds like ransom right there.
Exactly. And so, and this is before I started to find out that there are actually people out there who will do stuff like that. And so, I think what happened was I did end up, me and my mom, we did kind of like compromise on giving him $300. Mm-hmm. So we gave him $300. And what happened was that while I was kind of waiting for the contract to come or whatever, somebody gave her a call and said, did you pay the money yet? And I'm thinking, did you talk to somebody? And it turned out she had called somebody to get a second opinion about these business arrangements. Yeah. And somebody told her, you don't ever pay for anything. Like somebody wants him, they're gonna sign him and he's not gonna pay anything until he gets paid for a project. And then that's when she was like, oh snap, I need that money back. Yeah. And long story short, we got the money back, but she kind of had to like come out of character to get the money back, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of like the thing where I was just like, dang, like people out here trying to exploit actors for a sense. Yeah. And it was kind of discouraging for a second because I think for a while I didn't trust agencies. I didn't trust agents because I thought that was always about that. Yeah. And that happened to me again when I was going into college, and then I got into another thing at the John Hancock somewhere. We didn't end up paying any money, but they did end up taking $100 from us just to like apply for the thing. Okay. I auditioned the whole shebang and stuff, and it ended up just being kind of just going dead end. Yeah, and nothing happened. And then I started finding out about 9 Mag and a bunch of other people. So
it's interesting because it seems like almost beginner actors fall into this rite of passage of, you know, some kind of way.
Yeah.
It's some type of weird scam that might happen here and there, but it's like, I think now with the internet, social media, we can kind of see through it, or talking to people that got experience under their belt. Like, you do not need to pay to come to an audition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if they want you, they're going to have, you know, they're going to make it easier if they want you. Yeah. So I guess my question to you is, so when you got your first role, what was your first role?
So my first role was in a play. I was on stage for the longest first before I booked anything film related, TV related. So what I did was it was a show in a church, and you know they wanted to audition the kids and stuff like that, and that was cool. You know, they just wanted to see if who was able to kind of like just take direction and stuff. It was pretty easy, and we didn't get paid for the project, and we didn't have to pay anything in. I mean, it was a church, so but the director had an eye for that Broadway scale. So for the church, you know, he put on like a massive production for it, and I did that for about 3 years because it was an ongoing thing that he did every year up in Indiana. And after that, I did some stuff for the school, and so this was kind of already prepping me to be auditioning as an actor. And then professionally, I didn't start doing that until after college.
Okay, when
I started to like know the lingo now, because I had professors like mentoring me and other students kind of referring me to certain projects.
Yeah.
And that's when I was able to kind of like nail like, okay, yeah, you don't pay for this stuff. You just kind of have to go out there, have a good portfolio, and then kind of just cross your fingers.
Yeah. So how, when you first got your role, I mean, I started seeing you transition, like, because I think I seen you on Chicago PD. Yeah. So I want to touch on that. What was that like when you was on Chicago PD?
So that was exciting, surreal. Mostly because I didn't know what I was getting myself into all the way yet. And what I mean by that is, so I knew my lines, I knew the character that I was going to play, but I didn't know how big the role was going to be. Because, you know, they sometimes just give you like a side of the character. Yeah. And you think like you're going to have like maybe 4 lines, maybe 1 scene. You're going to be shooting all day, but essentially it's a small role. But didn't know that it was actually going to be like kind of like a featured role for the show. I was going to be working with Michael Beach, you know, like Michael Beach, he's the guy that, you know, he was the bad dude in Waiting to Exhale.
Okay.
Yeah, him.
And he was in Soul Food. He played Miles.
Yeah, Soul Food. Okay. Aquaman, the dude's dad. Him, like, had no idea who was going to be in the episode. Yeah. And so when I saw him, I was a little bit starstruck because I was like, I didn't think I was going to see him like at all. I saw the guy that plays Voight and everybody else, so I was kind of familiar with them, and we chopped it up a little bit, but seeing Michael Beach was a whole other thing because I grew up watching him, like on ER and things like that. And I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I lost all my cool. And so my very first scene on that day was with him. Yeah. That was, I think that helped me out a lot because that was the scene where we didn't really have a lot of lines. Yeah. It was just like a shot where the camera was looking at us, and it's like a B-roll type of thing. Okay. Where they don't see us, like they see us talking, but we don't have to really say anything. Right. And so on action, we just have to pretend that we're talking. And the whole time I'm thinking, man, Michael Beach, I had no idea he was gonna be on set. Oh my God. And so we're actually talking and getting to know each other for like a couple hours. And that broke the ice of my nerves, and we was able to just work together for another 2 days. Nice. It was great, man. It was fantastic.
So let me ask you this. So you have what they would say, this ambiguous look, as in you have that look where you can possibly be like the white guy, the mixed guy.
I think I do. I don't necessarily get the memo that I'm getting stereotyped. I know I've been told that I look like I can play like the husband or the cheating boyfriend or something like that.
Cheating boyfriend.
I rarely get thrown on as being like the gangster. I don't really get those, which is ironic because I played the gangster in Chicago PD, so it's kind of crazy. But I don't really get stereotyped all that much. I mean, in my experience, most of it kind of came down to it was just if I gave them something that was different enough to where they say, you know what, this guy is bringing something a little bit unique to the role. Yeah. Like, so, short story, when I was in college, there was this thing kind of going around about how Black actors wasn't getting work because a lot of the directors were like writing for right roles and stuff.
Yeah.
And for me, I wasn't really seeing that.
Yeah.
But people complained about it, so I wasn't like gonna, contort about it. But that just wasn't my experience.
Yeah.
But I was getting, I was seeing a lot of auditions where I couldn't audition because everybody kept on saying, I want a white guy for this, I want a white guy for that. And so what I did was, I just said, man, forget this. I'm gonna just audition for the role. I don't care. If they don't like what I have, oh well, it's not for me anyways, it's for a white person.
Yeah. And
I auditioned for a white role while I was in school, and they loved me. And they say, hey man, I had something in mind, but you brought something different. You want the role? I said, yeah. And that stuck with me because since then, that whole accusation about, I don't get roles because I'm black and things like that, that experience kind of told me that may be the case, but if you're exceptional enough and you believe in yourself enough to go in there and give them something different, you may just change their mind.
So your advice would be for somebody that feels like, man, it seems like I can't get what the role I want, or I'm being stereotyped. Mm-hmm. Do the best you can with that role and make it yours.
Yeah. Because you got to understand, man, like they have they have an archetype in their mind. Every writer or director, they're going to have something in their mind of what they want. You just have to be able to read the script, read the character, and understand what that character is. And if you can bring that character to life, it don't matter what color you are. I mean, they're going to see the talent. Yeah. You know what I mean? If they're married to the idea that the guy has to be white or black, whatever the case, then okay. Yeah. But ultimately, if you're bringing something exceptional, directors will change their mind. It's happened to me a handful of times. Like it became a thing for me where my tactic is if I want to book something, I'm gonna just go for the white roles because I know I'm gonna read the character, I'm gonna body it, and I'm gonna probably sweep the rug from under them because they're thinking that another white guy's gonna come in. And no, it's a light-skinned dude that can speak well, but I'm gonna give you what the character's asking for, and if they like it, they may pick me because I'm black. I don't know.
So segueing into that, has it been roles that you like, nah, I can't do this? Like, I'm gonna run a scenario to you. Somebody says, yo, Patrick, check it out. Mm-hmm. You got the perfect look, perfect everything for this role. And I want you to play this gay guy that has 2 gay boyfriends. And I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is your limits of your artistry? Because some people, they like, oh, it's art, so I don't care.
So you're gonna get me in trouble for this one, man. But look, my thing is this. So it depends on the role, right? Because I actually had somebody ask me this question a couple months ago about this. And I told him the same answer. It depends on the role. So if it's like some P-Valley stuff, some Empire shit, I can't do it. Because that, for one, it's just not my cup of tea. It's just not my type. Like, I feel like if the character's good, but I have to do all these other things, it's just not for me.
And sometimes people can't. Sometimes I think what a lot of actors, what I see, if they play the role too good, sometimes it's like hard to kind of differentiate. Like,
are you straight?
Yeah. Or... I mean, it's just one of them things. I think if you do it extremely, like I remember, what's the guy from? He was on The Wire, Omar.
Michael.
Rest in peace to. Can't think of his last name.
It's Michael something.
But
I know what you're talking
about. I saw the series. Was it Lovecraft Country or Lovecraft? Mm-hmm. And he had some very interesting parts.
Yeah, I think HBO kind of just said, you know what, he's good with gay roles. Let's just give it to him.
Yeah, so I mean, at that point, it's just like, you're a little bit too good at these type of roles.
And he is. He's good at those roles.
But not taking anything away from his acting, but the fact is, that's what I'm saying. Like, where's the limits? What are some things that you're just like absolutely not? Like, somebody might say, hey, you know what? Can you play this pedophile role? Can you play this racist role? So the question is that, like, what are your creative limits? Or do you feel that art is art? Mm-hmm. Or do you feel that, no, I just can't touch that? So how do you approach that?
Yeah, so I do believe that art is art. But I do think it's okay to also have standards to what you want to accept. So, I think if you're an actor that's not necessarily okay with doing certain roles, I don't think you should be shamed for that because, if I want a role so bad and somebody says no to me, they have to accept the fact that they want to give me a role and I say no to that. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes not everybody is going to be able to get what they want in this industry. But for some reason, it's like I have to be okay with playing a character that I'm uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
And with me, like I said, it kind of just depends on the role. Like, so for me, if the character is strong enough to where there's like a clear goal there that I know can possibly connect with a universal trait that us human beings can believe in, then I will probably do it. Especially if the character is not being defined by like his sexuality or his sexual acts and things like that, which is kind of what I see now.
Yeah.
But if he's just gay and that's not necessarily the core of who that character is, but there's something else exceptional outside of that, then I'll probably do it. You know what I mean? Because, you know, obviously the guy is going through something that everybody can relate to. He just so happens to be gay, but that's not really the core theme of the film or his character. Yeah. From what I've been seeing a lot of times is that a lot of people have that have the homosexuality as their core identity, and they want to lead with that character, with that end identity for the character. That's where I'm like, no, I can't do it because if he has to be gay here, gay there, and that's defining who he is throughout the entire project, that's not, I'm just not interested in something like that. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I'm friends with a bunch of people who are gay, and I'm friends with them solely just because they're great people. You know, we don't ever have to talk about that kind of stuff, and they don't even feel the need to tell me these things. Like, we just cool. You know, and for some reason, some projects feel like they have to announce to the world that this is a gay thing. It's like, no, you don't. Just nail the universal traits that I can relate to still. And I'll be on that journey with you. And I haven't seen roles really that have nailed that recently. So, but that's why I say it just kind of depends.
Okay,
you know?
okay. Let me ask you this. Has it ever been an audition that you bombed, that you felt like, oh man, I did terrible?
Yeah. There was this was back in this is back in the college days. I wasn't green, but I was still kind of learning the business. I had a few auditions in college when I was just kind of showing up. Because I wasn't getting a lot of work, and I was just thirsty to kind of just put myself out there. So I was just auditioning for the hell of it. And there were some auditions where I would forget my lines. Auditions where they wanted me to sing, and I didn't know that was in the memo. But they said, "Can you sing though?" And I said, yeah, and
started thinking about some Wizard of Oz.
I was thinking about something, and it was just terrible. Like, it was a complete embarrassment. But I laughed it off, and I just failed epically. But I knew I was going to get the role. That happened only a few times, but you know, this was in college. Like, early. I was like 23, 24. Mostly, I'm pretty professional with it. You know, I try to prep really well.
So, segueing into auditions. You got the role. Let's say, how do you prepare for certain characters? Like, what is your technique? What is something that you can give advice to somebody that got the role? Like, how do you embody certain characters? Like, what is your process to studying becoming this role?
So, first thing I do is read the script in its entirety. I need to know the entire backstory of him and where he's going all the way to the very end of the film. And then I read it another time to try to pinpoint why he's moving the way he is. And then I start doing like inner work stuff as far as like pinning, because there's going to be moments in every character where there's going to be vulnerable moments that I might be uncomfortable with. So a lot of times I tell actors, be okay with tapping into something that's uncomfortable, because there's going to be a moment where if that character is, or if the film or the screenplay is begging for that character to give something, like whether you're gonna cry or talk about a trauma that you've never gone through, you're gonna have to type into something that you probably suppressed in your life and bring it out to give it its authenticity. And with me, a lot of meditation, I would say, helps with that. But I will also say, even when I feel like I've done the work, I'm always still learning about the character. Like, I'm never really truly complete in learning who this character is. There'll be times when I'm filming something and I just find something, it'll just hit me like, dang, I think I found something else in this character. And we'll talk about it with the director, and I'm just like, man, the whole time I just realized something about this character, this, that, and the third. And it's always like it's like a nonstop evolution. With me and these characters, and it's never complete with me. Now when the film is done and the project's done, you know, I can let go of it, but I'm still always finding something new with it.
Do they call that method acting, when you just do not you stay in character even when the cameras are off.
Yeah, so method actors when they're just staying in character.
Yeah.
Like if they're playing a serial killer, they have the serial killing face when they go home. Like it's the epitome of bringing work home with you. You know what I mean?
So interesting.
So if you're playing somebody that's like a villain, you're a villain in all the areas of your life until the project's over. Yeah. That's not my style. Yeah. I can bring it to work and then drop it at the down of a hat and shake it off. Like I have techniques where I can just shake it off and stuff.
Yeah.
I played you know, like a sex offender, like not sex offender, but like a rapist.
Yeah.
Like a handful of times.
Not a handful of times.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I just have this rapist face. I don't know what it is.
What the hell is the rapist face?
I don't know. Maybe it's a light-skinned person with a beard. I don't know. But early in my career, I was getting casted as this person that just rapes girls. Okay. You know? And the funny thing about it was that all the ladies that were, you know, that I co-starred with, that I ended up doing the thing and the scene with, we all ended up working together in one other project. Well, I didn't have to rape them, but we just ended up working together. Okay. But it was just a funny thing because I was like, oh, hey, I met you all during that project. Hey. It was funny. Yeah, it was awkward, but it was funny because they see that I'm a nice person.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, I had to play those kind of characters, and so I've never raped anybody. I haven't committed any kind of crime or nothing like that.
Thank goodness.
So I had to figure out a way to become that character in this authentic way while still not judging the character.
Yeah.
Extremely hard to do because, you know, we're talking about getting to some dark territories of stuff, you know what I mean? Like even, you know, exposing things about myself that I probably didn't think were there, you know, but then have to realize, you know, every human being is going to have a dark side to him. Mm-hmm. And so I use that to bring the characters to life. And I think that's what kind of helped these directors understand how good I was at the craft and stuff. But very hard to do. It can get uncomfortable, it can get challenging, and when you're finding new things about this character, about why he's doing the stuff he does, it gets fascinating at times. But I definitely don't take it home with me. I'm definitely glad that it's over and I can shake the thing off.
I like Heath Ledger. He was like, I heard he was really, when he was doing the Joker, he embodied it he took it to the extreme.
There's been talks that he was just kind of in it all the way through and to the point to his demise, unfortunately. Don't know how true that is, but if that is the case, that's why, again, I would say you don't have to do method acting, you know, but Daniel Day-Lewis, he's a guy that I would say is a true method actor, and he goes all the way in with it. I don't think he's actually hurt himself doing it, but, you know, I know when he was doing it with Lincoln and some other roles that he's done, everybody says he's the same character until we're done.
You know, and this is the thing, like, this is, in my personal opinion, what separates the greats from the okays. Mm-hmm. I believe that what makes a really amazing actor is when the movie's over with, the character you played can exist and transition into real life. And what I mean by that is like, how many times you've seen people refer to Wesley Snipes' character, Nino Brown? You know what I'm saying? In the sense of bringing him into the real world. Because he killed that role so well that it's almost like Nino Brown has a social security number. That's how dope he killed that role. Versus, and no shade against The Rock, can you name any character that he's played from? He just plays The Rock.
Yeah, I think he just plays himself in a lot of his stuff.
You know, so it's hard to really kind of say, man, what is his name from? He plays The Rock. Like, what is his name from Fast and the Furious? What is his name from this other movie? And you might got some people that's like diehard fans that can do that, but I feel like even with Johnny Depp, you know, how he was able to transition from Edward Scissorhands to creating Jack Sparrow. Yeah,
that man's a chameleon.
So it's like you can make these characters exist in real life where people can actually try to parry them. You know what I'm saying? They can try to. I put it like this: if somebody can make a Halloween costume out of one of the characters that you did, you killed that, man.
That means you killed that
shit. You know, so I feel like that makes a really dope actor. So that segue into my next question. Do you feel theater is something that every actor should have in their background?
Absolutely.
And why is that?
Well, for the most part, if nothing else, if you want to get started in this industry, theater, there's always need for an actor in theater. You know what I mean? It's easier to get into because it's live. With theater, though, I think there's a strong discipline in making sure, as far as memorization goes, you'll learn how to learn your lines. You learn how to move on a stage, how to make things bigger on stage. And I think that's important because in film, it's not big. It's here, right? That's why sometimes when you watch a film, you know, somebody may say, man, they look so natural doing it. And it's like, yeah, because they kind of are natural, right? Like they're acting, but they're mostly just kind of like just here, especially in the close-ups. Like there's a technique that a lot of actors have in their bag where they can be big one moment, but they save it for the stage. But on film, they keep it here because that's where like, you can whisper in the camera and it'll still sell because it's all about the eyes, really.
Yeah.
And I think once you get used to doing it bigger, it'll be a lot easier to kind of like to tone it down a little bit. Like my issue is sometimes that when I'm doing film, I'm a little bit too big because I'm so used to being on stage a lot. But some of my mentors tell me, remember, bring it down here. Oh, you're right. Yes, I was on stage, you know. It takes a strong discipline because you get used to just doing it live all the way through and making sure you don't mess up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like doing it live it's very hard to do. And especially too, since time is money, you're learning how to engage with the director.
Yeah.
You're learning how to engage with everybody else around you.
Yeah.
You're learning how to be coachable, you know, because when things are happening live right in front of your face and you can't cut, you gotta just be able to listen. You know what I mean? Listening's a big part of it too.
Yeah.
There's no stronger technique as far as nailing acting than by just listening. And you have to be able to listen on stage because the audience will know when you're not. They will know when you're not because you have to face the audience anyways. And if the actor is saying something and you're facing the audience and they can see that you're not paying attention, they're gonna say, okay, yeah, this guy can't act, right? And in film, you have to be able to nail the listening aspect of it all because the camera's on your face and it's in your eyes. And everybody knows what it looks like when you're listening, when you're not. And you have to be more natural with it on film. Yeah. And you get to fail in all those aspects when you're on stage, right? Like stage is a place where you get to play, train, make a bunch of mistakes, and you're gonna have a competent director kind of mentor you and coach you and give you the ropes as far as like what you need to do for the project, but you can still take it with you in the whole scheme of acting. Yeah. And then, you know, once you start progressing into other avenues, it's gonna help you hone your craft a lot. Okay. You know.
So let me ask you this. So as we're in this age of social media and technology, AI. How has social media helped you in your career? Or do you feel that, no, I'm old school, I'd rather just, just show up and, you know, I'm not trying to put nothing online or whatever, or like, how has it helped you?
Well, I'll give social media some credit because I'm not the best at marketing myself on social media. Yeah. I'm gonna just be honest with you, but there have been times when I'm doing a project and I'm putting it out on social media, somebody hits me up in the DMs saying, hey, I saw that project you did. I like your look. I got something going on. And, you know, I'll get a job that way.
So it's like a business card almost. Like it's like a digital business card to be able to say, hey, this is what I did. Check it out. And then what helps is if it's getting views and, you know, being engaged, that puts you in a situation to like, hey, you know, I can bring a little bit more outside into the table. Yeah,
especially if you have like, if you have a show coming up or you have like a film that's coming out, you can put it on social media to say, hey, you know, I got something coming up. Y'all want to come? Let me know. I got tickets. Let me know. Yeah. And then also too, I think social media helps when you're trying to get in touch with a director that you want to work with. Yeah. Use social media if you don't have his number. I think the beauty about that part of it is that if you're a fan of a director that you know that you want to work with for so long, and you've never had that chance to engage with them because you never met him in person, but you follow him, you can just DM him and say, hey, like your work. If you need an actor, let me know. Here's my email. Maybe drop a resume in his email. You know, that's how I was able to get some certain things. Not stalking, don't stalk your director or nothing, but but I definitely did like love a director's work and say, you know what, man, I think me and you would benefit working together. Here's my information. Let me know.
Gotcha.
You know, so
I'm gonna segue into some interesting territory. So by you playing a rapist, in this state of the whole cancel culture and Me Too, how do you work with female co-stars? Like, how do you balance, you know, working to make them comfortable versus some actors can make a woman uncomfortable or whatever.
Yeah.
How do you walk that balance to be able to say, hey, we're working this role. It could be like a role that's very, intimate, whatever the case may be. How would you balance something like that?
So I would probably use the techniques that I learned from my stage combat classes when I was in Columbia in school. So we pretty much learned all of the safe spaces, the safe spaces where you can touch.
Yeah.
Right. So the first thing I would do was let them know, hey, we're gonna be doing this thing. I have some ideas of what I want to do. I'm gonna do it like this, then the third. What do you think? If they like it, cool. If they have other ideas, let them tell me.
Yeah.
And then we'll just chop it up a little bit, and then I'll say, okay, look, you can touch me here, you can touch me there. Can I touch you here, there? Kind of get those things kind of out the way first. So then that way, once you get it all set in stone, you can kind of just go crazy. Yeah. You know, I mean, you can perform. You can perform
going crazy
comfortably. You can perform comfortably. That's what I mean. But you can do it in a way to where it's authentic, it's free flowing. Everybody knows the safe words, I guess. So you're not making mistakes. And if you do make a mistake, hopefully there's a rapport there where the co-star knows that it's not it's not a huge deal.
I've always been intrigued about sex scenes on film. Like I've always wondered how that works. Like I know to a certain extent, I know it's probably some trickery going on to be able to, but like I think the most polarizing scene I've seen was Monster Ball with Halle Berry. And I'm like, yo,
the infamous Monster Ball.
I'm like, yo, is they really? Because they getting it in. So I'm just like, how is that discussed and how they hiding private parts and stuff like that? I mean,
well, I would say when it comes to those raunchy scenes, like, because obviously there's a discussion to be had about it before they actually start shooting, but I think like the directors and the crew, they're very considerate about how steamy the scene can get. So what they do for the first and foremost is that they make sure the setting is nice and safe for more specifically for the women, because most male actors don't care. You know, like they'll be like, okay, it's fine, whatever. Most female actresses, they'll go, man, they get a little bit more conservative and stuff because they don't want to, they're showing their skin and stuff. Right. They know it's a job, but they don't want things to kind of go crazy. So sometimes directors will say, okay, look, let's talk it out. Let's do the things that I just said, and then we'll see if we can keep it nice and intimate and private. So that way, like I may just have me, the AD, the gaffer sit there, and that's it. It's just those two actors and maybe 4 or 5 people in the room, and that is it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just because they want to make sure everybody's comfortable. Yeah. And then with rehearsals and stuff like that, it makes for a really good, comfortable scene to shoot. And if it looks authentic on screen, it's because they had a really good team. Rarely have you, and I do believe this. I don't think it's common when things kind of go crazy on love scene sets. Yeah. I know it kind of blown up with everything that kind of happened a few years ago, but I believe for the most part, actors kind of are professional with it. They know what they're doing. It doesn't get too crazy, and I think most guys kind of, they have the common sense to not go overboard.
Have you ever had to be in an awkward situation where you saw inappropriate behavior on an actor and you're like, yo, this crazy?
No, not in my experience. Everybody that I've worked with have been professional. I mean, you meet some guys that have big personalities. They may say things, kind of slick them out and stuff like that, but never too extreme to where it's making people like super uncomfortable and making the ladies uncomfortable. It's always been just, fine. In my experience, though, this is me. Somebody else may have a different story, but with me, all my projects, I've been blessed to not have to deal with that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So
that's good. So let me run you through another scenario. So let's say we're working on the film. I'm directing you. We're working. And we have worked together before. Shout out to Facing Your Demons and more Thou Shall Not Kill Yet.
Kill, man.
It's a side story. Working with this guy, I worked with him before, and man, we're gonna talk about that on another whole situation. But the fact of the matter is, it was such a dope scenario, and it was just super professional. But my question to you is, how do you deal with a director that's just being a total ass? You are terrible right now. Yeah. You are terrible. Or I'm seeing crazy shit out like that's super inappropriate. Like, how do you deal with that?
Oh, why you always gotta get me in trouble, Blaze?
Hey, because the people want to know, because this is the reality of being in this industry. But so we're arming you with
too soon, man.
We're arming you with the appropriate information on how to deal with these situations.
Fair enough. So with me, I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of mentors in my life, right? When traversing this industry. One of them is chew the meat, spit out the bones, right? Not everything is always personal. If it is always personal, might want to check with yourself first, right? Because there are a lot of actors, you will hear a lot of actors are very sensitive. They're very emotional. They care about their craft a lot, which is true. But with me, I can be very emotional. I can be very particular about my craft, and I don't like when people are critiquing it. However, there's a discipline there that I have that allows him to say, you know what? I might be wrong. Let me hear what he has to say. If everything he's saying is wrong, okay, whatever. One ear out the other. Not a huge deal. They may not make a scene because at the end of the day, this is still a business arrangement. This is still a professional setting.
Right.
I still want to look good at the end of the day when this film is done. Like I don't want this director saying anything bad about me when I leave.
Right.
So you want to be able to keep your emotions in check with that. But if there is a conversation to be had where things are just getting too disrespectful, for the life of me, keep it off social media. For the life of me. You know how, man, there are so many people who like they go on this whole kick about how be a grown woman, be a grown man, be adults about this kind of stuff. But they act like children on the professional setting, in the workplace, really. Airing somebody out because they feel offended. There's always a conversation to be had. Right. Misunderstandings are always going to happen. They still happen to this day. Yeah. Like with me, like I'm always getting called out for something that I probably just don't understand.
Yeah.
But if I do feel like there's something that needs to be, talked about, have a private conversation, phone call, find a quiet corner. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But for some reason, I think sometimes the notion that actors are sensitive, some actors take that saying to heart and they wear like a badge of honor saying, yeah, I'm sensitive, watch what you say. And it's like, no, like sometimes some actors do need to get that life lesson of just being critiqued. We're in the business of being critiqued. Like, we get rejected all the time. I don't know why it's so hard to just get critique about something because it's only going to make you better.
You know the difference between being critiqued and you're just being hated on.
Exactly. And some people they can't delineate the difference. Like if you're going to talk about my craft, my question is, okay, tell me what's wrong. What did I do incorrectly? And if they can get into that, then cool. I'll be like, okay, I'll make the adjustment. Yeah. But if I ask the question and they can't answer that, but all they can do is just talk about how stupid my sweater looks and how dumb my face looks and how you don't like the way I speak or things like that, and you're gunning on me, okay, now you're being insulting. Now I'm going to have to go, you know what I mean? But for the most part, it's never really that personal. It's usually always just, I want what I want. You're not giving it to me. I ask, okay, can you show me how to get there or show me what I'm doing wrong, and I might probably make the adjustment. And it may take 5 or 10 minutes of just not shooting anything or rehearsing anything to kind of just workshop it out. I know directors that are great with that kind of communication. I know some that suck at it. But I think for the actor's sake, you want to be able to find the discipline to just chew the meat, spit out the bones. If you want to cry about it, do it at home, do it to your friends when nobody's watching, because being blacklisted is the worst curse you can ever deal with in this industry, right? Because word gets around, especially with somebody who has a lot more influence than you. Like you want to be able to come off being great to work with, being cool to just, be coached, you know what I mean? But you don't want to be that person that's just, I can't talk to him or I can't talk to her because, too many of that happening, especially in the city. And it hurts me because there's so much talent out here and a lot of them hold themselves back because they just can't get critiqued. They can't get coached. Like somebody want to say something to them about how you're not giving it to me and they take it completely left. And it's like, no, but he's trying to say like you giving too much or you're not giving enough. And this, and they get into their background and the documentaries about how I come from this, that, and the third. Like it matters. And it's really just, you gotta have that discipline to be coached. Like, it's okay. I mean, we're actors. We're here to take direction. Yeah. Take the direction. Don't make it into a huge thing.
That's a dope point of view. And the one important thing that I also took from that is keep it off social media.
Keep it off social media for the life of me, G. Like, oh my God, I think there's 3 actors that I know in the city that have done something like that. And mind you, they may have been right.
Right.
But this director or producer that they're talking about has a lot of pull. They got a lot of people that they know. Like they may know a lot of people, but they know a lot of people, and they know a lot of people who have the money. You mess that up because you're trying to call yourself airing them out on social media. You don't know the kind of lawyers he has, you know, to take you to court, and you probably don't got no money to fight him in court.
Right.
You know, you just kind of watch your mouth, and if it really is that deep, just talk to him. You know, I'm like, I save myself a lot of battles, and I don't have a lot of battles, mind you. But I've saved myself a lot of strife just talking to them and just having a conversation. It's rare when it happens, but when I do it, it's refreshing because it's like, you know, it wasn't that bad.
Right.
Maybe I did take things a little too personally. You know, you ain't so bad, so-and-so. Like, actually, you said something that was actually inspiring. I'm going to take that and work on my role and see what I can do with that. Yeah. I'll see you tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's never that serious. And I don't know, man. People be sensitive.
Nah, I mean, that's dope, though. I like the insight because, like I said, we have different levels of actors that are going to watch this, and they're going to, you know, we have some that's starting out, some that's been in it, and you'd be surprised that some might not understand the dynamics of, yo, it's a time and place for everything. I mean, me having a music background, I know certain battles I want to take on, and certain battles is like, it's not worth it, you know, because the one thing, I've never been a social media guy to sit there and say, hey, you know, let me tell you about such and so, let me tell you what they said, what they did, and I don't like them now. It's like, because that's not conducive, you know what I'm saying? That's not going to help the situation. But at the end of the day, I will look internally, and first I'll check myself and say, yo, did I do something wrong or whatever the case may be? But then if I'm looking at it from a point of view where this is keep happening, then it's just like, okay, I could just put this energy into something else.
Right.
So, you know, that's a dope point of view to have, you know.
It's definitely a true testament to, you know, when people say stay humble, it's going to be a true testament to see how humble you actually are. You know, because you're going to hear some things that you're not going to like. You're going to be uncomfortable sometimes. But can you just take the critique? If it's wrong or right, whatever, can you still take the critique and not embarrass yourself? You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I mean, to me, it's not rocket science. You know, I think I've been blessed to be in a lot of favorable positions and get a lot of, like, my reputation in the city has been positive, mostly because I believe in those philosophies. Like, if I have a problem, I'm not gonna make it public, right? I'm gonna see if there really is a problem and I'm just taking it too seriously. Let's have a conversation like men, or men and women, whatever the case.
Right.
And, you know, I've had a lot of good success with that, right? Like, my ratio has been 98, 99% where you have a conversation. It's not so bad. You know what I'm saying? And if it is bad, just finish the project, get it out the way, and then say thanks for the opportunity, and just, you know, keep all that stuff to yourself, man. You don't want, just know it's not worth it. It's
just keep it moving.
Yeah, man. It's just waste of space, waste of energy, you know?
So let me ask you this. So is it anything right now that you're watching that you are like getting inspired from? Anything that you're like, yo, that was done so dope? I'm gonna tell you one for me is the TV series called From. From is super duper dope.
Oh, that thriller that's on some streaming.
It's on MGM Plus, but you can watch it through Amazon.
Okay.
I love the fact that it's just this unique Twilight Zone situation of like what is happening in this town.
Oh,
and it's like,
that sounds like you.
I like that. You know, I love a lot of psychological shit. Like,
yeah, that sounds like your taste.
You know, one of my favorite movies was this movie called Hard Candy. And
Hard Candy?
Hard Candy, at the time, Ellen Page was in it.
I've heard of this.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I know what you're
Hard
talking
Candy
about.
was dope. Yeah. And it was like, it took place in one house, almost one room. But it was just like, it had you on the edge. That was a movie that I saw that I was like, wait a minute. Okay, I'm rooting for the good person.
Yeah.
And then as it's transitioning, I'm like, okay, I don't know if I should be now rooting for this person because they're making some questionable decisions. But either way it goes, I love stuff like that. So for you, what is something that is inspiring that you've watched lately?
So recently I've been watching Gangs of London. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I have.
You have? So
I haven't watched it, but I've heard of it though.
Yeah, it's like a mafia gangster type show where it takes place in London, but it's like all of these gang leaders kind of like colluding together to. So first season, it was about kind of like avenging the death of one of the heads. And then you kind of start to see that everybody's business has been affected by the guy's death because I guess he was in charge of handling everybody's routes and stuff like that. And when he died, everybody's like, so who's gonna handle the trucks? My money, he's holding all of my financials. What are we gonna do about this? And it was pretty cool. And one of the things that I like about that is that Well, it's very violent, and I like that kind of shit. So I like the blood and the gore and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they really get into the characters. It's a strong. Like all of the characters have a story. They have a goal, and the show takes risks. Like they'll kill people. They do Game of Thrones type stuff where there's somebody you care about, and they'll kill them in a very gory way, mind you. But it's really cool show that I've gotten into, and it's been like I just like the way it's being filmed. I like the way the camera goes, especially when it gets to those action scenes. Yeah. Like that's the kind of action I haven't seen in a very long time. Yeah. I think the guy that made the Raid movies created that show.
Yeah, The Raid, I think that's the film that had the long shot of the action scene. It was just this long apartment.
Yep.
That was a dope.
Yeah, so he's the creator of that show, and when you watch the action scenes, you can tell like, oh yeah, he penned those action scenes because the savagery, like, and there's new things that happen. Like I've never seen people get killed in these kind of ways in a long time. Yeah. So I'm just like, man, this is a good show. And I've recently watched that Western with Kevin, the Yellowstone.
My dad likes that. I haven't watched that.
Yeah, it's I think it's because I'm a dad and stuff. I like that kind of. No, but it's a good show. And what's crazy about it too is that it's not really a violent show, but people just be dying in there, and you'd be like, how are these people dying in this show? Like it's like, I mean, the writing is incredible, first of all. But people, like, the stakes are there. You can feel the stakes, but it's not really it's not like a Sons of Anarchy type of show. It's a very slow pace, fun show, but then sometimes things happen. I'm just like, how the fuck? This is like it's crazy, but it's a good show. It's a really good show.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna move forward with some rapid fire questions and just see where you at.
Oh, rapid fire.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
Here we go. You ready for it?
All right. Hold on. Let me drink my water.
Yeah. It's
rapid fire.
Oh yeah. So
okay.
Question. Mm-hmm. Would you have gone to a Diddy freak off party?
Yes. Damn. Oh,
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh man, interesting times, huh?
Yeah. Not for the reason that you might think. It's everybody talks about them, and I think they sound interesting.
So wait, you have a Diddy party, then you got the Diddy freak off parties.
I don't know if I'll go to the freak out parties.
Okay.
Maybe the parties. Not the after party and then the after party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll probably go to the party, have a few drinks.
It's like levels to like, okay, we got to start leaving it.
Yeah, not the freak offs. The freak off, yeah, because, I've never been into that kind of stuff. That's a little too nasty for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a lot of baby oil. No, I can't. No, but...
Yeah,
I would go just because they seem interesting.
Okay,
everybody's been to them. I feel like I'm missing out. So
headshots. How important are headshots for
very,
actors?
Very important.
Okay, and real quick, why?
It's your brand. It's your calling card.
I like that.
Everybody's looking for a look. They need that look. If your headshot is that look, they'll consider you an audition. So
okay.
Yeah.
Would you work with an actor that has a terrible attitude? I mean, just terrible, foul, disrespectful. But it's a situation of it might take your career to the next level.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's a situation to where everybody's like, no, this dude is trash, gets his attitude, but
if it's that, then I'm probably the person that'll be like, yeah, I'll work with him.
Work with him.
Yeah, I'm that guy. I'm the guy where everybody says no to, I'll probably say yes to.
Yeah, okay. You might get some flack because some people are like, oh, you're supposed to like, no.
I know, but I don't know, man. I mean, life has taught me just so many things about people and other avenues of stuff. Like, I don't know. To me, it's always an opportunity. Mm-hmm. You never know. It's always an opportunity, and they may hate him for the wrong reasons, and I might find something different. So
you don't let somebody else's influence you. It's all about you have to figure it out for yourself.
Yeah. I want to not like this person because of what he did to me. You know what I'm saying? Because and there's people in the city that have certain reputations, and the more they talk about them, the more I want to work with them. It's weird. I'd be like, I kind of want to reach out to this person.
I got to see this for myself. I got to see what this is about.
I mean, it might be a little bit of a morbid curiosity just to see how bad they actually are.
Because the thing I've learned in Chicago is that it's kind of cliquish. Not even kind of, it is cliquish. Yeah. So sometimes somebody be like, oh, you mess with this person? Oh, I can't mess with you now. Because it's like, yo, what did I do?
Yeah.
It's kind of bizarre. But I mean, I think that's life. I think that's like high school too. You know what I'm saying? You kind of learn that from high school. As a matter of fact, you learn that when you're younger. So, it just always transitions. I always look at this entertainment business as high school. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, realistically, we all know you're here to learn. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to click up with this person. This person, I'm clicking up with these people. Yeah. And then hopefully we learn something in school along the way. You know
what I'm saying? Yeah.
But you know, it is what it is. Who would you say you're trying to get to a level of? Like, who would you say, yo, this particular actor is an inspiration? I would love to have a career like X, Y, and Z. Like who? Some people might look at like, oh, Denzel has that particular type of look that I've always wanted. Like, I want to be able to transition into that. Or the late great Chadwick. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, what would be something that you would say? What is goals for you?
It's a mixture between, this is going to be weird. This is a weird answer I'm about to give you. It's a mixture between Michael B. Jordan and Leonardo DiCaprio. Hear me out.
I mean, look, no, they actually, I get that.
Yeah, but this is why. I know why people are going to say, but this is why though. So with Michael B. Jordan, I like the fact that when his career kind of took off with after Fruitvale Station and things like that, for one, he has the kind of, so this is my answer. He has the kind of relationship with Ryan Coogler that I think all actors wish they had. Because the goal for every actor is, I want work. And sometimes if you don't have that knack for writing your own stuff, you're looking for somebody to give you a gig, right?
Yeah.
For Michael B. Jordan, it's Ryan Coogler.
Nice.
For Leo DiCaprio, it's Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
They're a sure thing. But if since this is the case and Hollywood just kind of just said, we're done, Leo DiCaprio and Martin Scorsese or Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan can make a movie because they just have that magic lightning in a bottle of just good projects, good, you know, give and take as far as the relationship, and they'll just make a bomb movie out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's for sure work.
Yeah.
And people love all the things that they do. That's where I see myself. I want to find a right director that I have just great chemistry with, where it's like, hey, I got something else. I got this idea. And no matter what the idea is, it's a A1 thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I bring him up because, you know, for one, you know, Leo DiCaprio, I didn't think he would work as much as he is working now since like the Titanics and everything else, but most of his films have been coming out of, you know, Martin Scorsese's bag.
Yeah.
Right? When Michael B. Jordan, you know, after Fruitvale Station with the Creeds and Black Panthers, those are all Ryan Coogler's projects. You see what I'm saying? His career has skyrocketed because of the talent that Ryan Coogler is bringing to him. They're bringing service to each other.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's the kind of relationship that I think every actor should strive to have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As well as the directors too, because I know
Yeah.
we strive to find that person that's like, yo, I want to work with this. This is my actor. Yeah,
exactly.
So, yeah.
You know, it's a dream in Hollywood when you have that one person you can just depend on, when everything is kind of just falling apart. Yeah. You know what I mean? And those two, as far as I can think of, have been bodying it. You know what I'm saying? And winning awards over it, and making money together. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I want to be.
Okay,
you
man.
know.
So, with that being said, what you got new? What you got coming up? What you got?
What I got coming up? So, man, I just been playing video games, Blaze.
Facts.
I just been kind of just chilling.
Helldivers? You been playing Helldivers? You played that yet?
No, I've been playing Call of Duty, the old stuff from PS3.
Okay.
You know, I'm just been bumming it out, man. I don't ain't got nothing going on. You know, I'm a failure in my life, bro. You got some. So look, so I did just finish up a project called The Catalyst Code. It's like a sci-fi short film that I was tapped to do with Destiny Campos. She hit me up and she was one of my stunt people for the Lake of Lies film that I directed. And we did a project. We wrote this project. Well, I wrote the project, but it's her story. So I penned the script and I pretty much stunt choreographed the fight scenes.
Okay.
So, but this is something where we kind of had to get into our martial arts bag.
Nice.
So you're gonna be seeing some punches and kicks in this one.
Okay.
That's cool. And I just finished writing a feature film in the crime genre. I might have mentioned it, but it's a crime drama that I'm trying to produce in the summer.
Nice.
And direct in the summer. So, and I'm gonna be starring in it too. So
Okay.
it's pretty cool. Exactly. Yeah. So, and it's really ambitious, but I think we can pull it off.
Yeah, man.
I really think we can pull it off. I mean, I've made so many strides, you know, kind of just doing my own thing. It's opened up kind of possibilities for me to where I don't really see doors closing out on me anymore. So I have the confidence now where it's like, if I have an idea, let me just call some people to see if we can make it happen.
Nice.
And if I can't find nobody, let me see what I can do first. And that's kind of been helping out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So with this project, man, it's gonna be ambitious as a mug, but I really think we can get it done. So I'm excited because it's gonna be something fresh and new for the city to see.
And not to mention, you know, the film I'm gonna be working on with you on.
Yeah.
It's a follow up to my film, Facing Your Demons, and shout out to the other film that I got, In a World, that once I put these trilogies together, you know, you guys will be able to check it out and see how we doing it. And so, I'm excited for that one, man.
Honestly, I'm excited about that one just because how it's all encapsulating for the other two that you did, and the twist that, I don't want to say it, but the stuff that's in there, it's just so unique and so original and so dark at the same time. And there's like some dark humor in there that's up my alley, and like because I get part of it when I'm part of a project that I get really excited to be a part of because I'm going to be comfortable. I'm gonna be chilling because I'm having so much fun with this. I love that kind of stuff. That's why I can't wait to do your thing. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be coming soon, man. So, where can people reach you, man? What's your socials? What's your IGs, or how they can reach you?
So my IG is _Patrick Deal, and my Facebook is Patrick Deal, and
spell DEAL.
DEAL. Yeah, like deal or no deal.
Okay.
Deal or no deal.
Gotcha.
And that's it right now. Yeah.
Okay, cool, man.
On Facebook and Instagram.
And for you guys that already know, you can reach me, of course, on my website, www.youngblazesite.com, as well as my IG is YoungBlaze, spelled all together, YOUNGBLAZE. Y'all should know that by now. But, you know, with that being said, man, I'm glad you came to this platform, Acting Chicallywood, because I want to bridge that gap of, you know, the segregation of our talent in our community, whether from the music, whether it's from the acting, the directing, photography aspect, whatever the case may be. If you are a person in Chicago just creating super dope content, this is the platform that we should be learning about and learning of each other to see exactly how we can help each other to get to the next level. And, you know, I'm glad you was here to drop some gems for us, man.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, man, I appreciate you coming out. And I'm YoungBlaze. And
can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
One more thing. So, just quick thing. So, I watched you from the whole musician aspect, from getting into the film industry. And seeing from the very first project you did all the way up to what we did with the Thou Shalt Not Kill, to the Facing Your Demons and everything else. And I just want to say, like, the evolution from day one of you being the filmmaker has been stellar. It's been just immaculate. I've never seen anybody, for one, just be so natural with it, and then be so in tune with just how all the toys work. Right. And I don't know if you get your props enough, but I think that's a true definition of a true filmmaker. When you kind of like just embody everything that it all is, like even with the sound stuff and the cameras and things like that. It's been very fun kind of watching you go through that process. And I'm very proud to kind of see what it's becoming now. So, man, I just want to say, like, I give you your props, man. I give you your flowers, and you're very dope at what you do, man. I'm very glad to be a part of this journey that you're on, man.
Brother, I highly appreciate that, man. And it's dope to come across dope people like you, so for me to test these cameras and lenses and sound equipment on. So
it's crazy. I've never seen nothing like this. So you're the first, my man. So I just want to give you a props, man. I really proud of you. This is some good stuff.
Man, I appreciate that, brother. So with that being said, man, so I'm out. I'm your boy YoungBlaze, and
Patrick Deal out.
There we go. Peace.